The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
I ain't coming for no foolishness. You don't understand. 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 Kick it. You don't understand. 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 Kick it. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. Kick it. You don't understand. 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 Kick it. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand.
Alright, motherfuckers, we back here. Life of Jay, episode number 12. Tonight, I'm going to be doing my first fight story, which I'm going to leave y'all again with another quote. If you're getting picked on, don't snitch. Just handle that shit the only way you know how. Beat that motherfucker ass. And that's exactly what I did when I was getting picked on. I used to get picked on a lot. At this time, I was not in middle school or higher school. I was actually in elementary school. And I went to a school called Mildred Green Elementary. And just like Howard Road Academy, they shut that bitch the f down and turned it into another school. Howard Road Academy. Oh, what the fuck was that? Whoa, did y'all see that shit on my neck? I don't know what that was, bro. I felt something on my neck and I just reached and just felt something on it. I don't know what that was. Yo, man, you know what? Walk with me, yo. Y'all know how that is. You feel a bug on you, yo? That, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop right into the story. Like I said, this was at Mildred Green Elementary. And I went to all terrible schools, by the way, which is why I mentioned Howard Road Academy. That was my middle school. I'm actually in 4th grade at the time. And I was getting picked on by 3 different goons. 3 different goons. I'm not gonna say dudes, I'm gonna say goons, because that's exactly what they were. Goons. Taekwon, Daquan, who were not related in any way. Their names just happen to rhyme. But Taekwon, Daquan, and Jarrell. Jarrell's gonna be the main event because he was the worst culprit out of all 3 of them. Yeah, I said Shri. I've been watching a lot of Darren Fleet, and that's how he says Shri. And when the whole behoove thing, don't be surprised if I use that again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna explain it. Taekwon, nah, we ain't gonna go to Taekwon. He's round 2. So Daquan, he used to give me skibos and shit. In other words, just smack you on the back of the neck when you wasn't looking. Or if you showed up to school with a skillet, in other words, a real short haircut where it makes you look bald, he'll just bow on top of your head. It was funny first couple times he did it, but the more he did it, the more annoyed I got. Speaking of smacking on the top of the head, everybody at school would always get you with this shit. They were like, hey, yo, Ty J. And you look, I'm like, oh, give me my two. Bow, bow. You know what I'm saying? They hit you with the light ones, or they just wham. You know what I'm saying? They hit you with one, let you breathe for a little bit. They're like, come on, I got one more left. Ready? And they rub their hands together like Birdman, and they're like, bam, and your head up. That shit used to be the worst. But at least Daquan didn't take it too seriously. So I appreciate that. Taekwon, on the other hand, I couldn't stand this mother. And excuse my F-bombs, but you're gonna hear a lot of them. This fool would not only pick on me in the middle of class, but he would also sabotage my schoolwork and shit. I'd be in the middle of doing an assignment when all of a sudden he'll just grab my pencil out of my hand and break that bitch and throw it across the classroom. Or we'd be in the computer lab and doing whatever the we doing. We on Microsoft Word or some shit, and we typing up something, and for whatever reason, he'll sit next to me, and he'll take his little dirty ass hands and start putting it on my laptop and start typing random keys and shit, or pressing random keys, typing random shit. And it would piss me off every time. I'd be like, would you stop? And the teacher that I had at the time, the teacher, Mr. Owens, I will never forget. Remember in episode 10, I said I hated every last teacher that I had with the exception of 2. He was one of the teachers that I couldn't stand. I hated him the most. And we hated him, we all hated, the whole class hated him. We hated him so much that we drove his ass to quit. And we ended up with another 4th grade teacher. But this dude was always yelling, always being mean. He ain't like the kids whatsoever. If you ain't like us, then why the f you bother showing up to work? Why did you bother becoming a teacher in the first place if you ain't like kids? I remember one day we was doing an in-class project. I don't remember exactly what we was doing, but it involved coloring. Why we were still coloring in 4th grade is beyond me, but we was using markers because he wanted the shit neat. You know what I'm saying? He ain't believe in coloring with crayons because he believed that shit was too childish, whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least give us some color pencils or something. But he's saying he didn't want color pencils either. Use magic markers. We didn't have enough magic markers, and because he was allergic to chalk, he decided he was gonna get a marker board with dry erase markers. So I started using his dry erase markers on my assignment, and I was coloring with that shit, and he noticed it, and he came over to me, snatched that shit out of my hand, and said, "What are you doing? Those are not for paper. Those are for the board." I'm like, chill the fuck out, man. Got a whole class with 25 students, and you only had like 3 or 4 cases of magic markers. What was I supposed to do? That ain't even the worst part. The worst part is the fact that when I was getting picked on, he would watch that shit happen and just let it happen. He'd let it play out. And when I got annoyed and I started raising my voice, telling niggas to stop, he was like, "Mr. Hunter, chill out before I call your parents." I'm like, you sitting here watching this shit unfold and you gonna get on me? I remember one day he asked me for my address. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And he always did that same stereotypical teacher shit when I'm getting picked on and I accidentally disrupt the class unintentionally. You know what I'm saying? Telling the nigga to stop. He's like, "Would you like to teach the class?" I'm like, "No, the fuck I would not like to teach the class. I don't know what your lesson is, nor do I give a shit." He was a dick, bro. I couldn't stand him. I remember one day, we was in the middle of class, and this was the new 4th grade teacher, Miss Williams. I actually like Miss Williams. She was the 3rd teacher that I liked. So Miss Peasy, Miss Thomas, and Miss Williams. Those are the only 3. Everybody else, fuck them. So we was in Miss Williams' class. And yeah, I know I can't say Williams right. I gotta say that shit slow to say the whole name. Otherwise, if I say it regular, I just say Williams. I know. Shut up. Don't make fun of my accent. We was in Miss Williams' class. This motherfucker gonna come out of nowhere and sit by the teacher's desk, and I get up to go to my locker to go get another pencil because Taekwon's stupid ass broke my pencil. And lucky for me, I had a whole box of them, so I went to my locker to go get another pencil. And while I'm going over there, this motherfucker just looking at me, staring a hole in my chest. I'm like, the f you looking at? I grab my pencil and I sit back down. He's still staring a hole in me. You know what I'm saying? I look back, he's still staring at me. 5, 10, 15 minutes later, I look back again. That nigga still staring at me. I'm like, the f you looking at? You like something you see? Gay mother. I don't know if he was gay. If he's gay, sorry. Actually, I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. Fuck him. I need to like this shit so I can calm down, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even get to the worst part yet, and I'm talking about my 4th grade teacher. We all had that teacher that we couldn't fucking stand. Back to Taekwon. The last thing that he ever did was start pushing my sister around. Now, that right there is when I had enough. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with me all you want. Break my pencils, type random shit on my laptop, rip up my school papers, which that is one thing that he also did. He would rip up my damn schoolwork, and the teacher would see that shit and wouldn't do shit about it. Until Miss Williams seen it. When Miss Williams seen it, she put his ass out. So, Miss Williams, thank you for that. But outside of all of that shit that he did to me, I would rather him keep doing all that shit to me rather than him doing what he did to my sister. And I'm not sure if she actually remembers this. I know I remember. I got a photographic memory. I can remember just about anything when I put my mind to it. I remember at the end of the day, usually at 3 o'clock, 3:15, once I get out of class, because me and my sister went to the same school. She was in pre, no, she didn't go to pre. I think she skipped pre-K. She went right to kindergarten. So she was in kindergarten. And I would have to go sign her out, but on this particular day, her whole classes went outside, and I had to go outside to go sign her out. I had to go to her teacher and sign her out. And while I was signing her out, in my peripheral, I see my sister getting pushed around. And who do I see? Taekwon, standing over there, pushing her around, pulling her ponytail, messing her hair up in the process. And after I signed her out, I put the pen down, and I walked over there, stormed over that bitch, started power walking, and I pushed his ass on the ground. I said, whatever you doing to me, keep doing that shit to me, but you don't touch my fucking sister. And he got up and said, nigga, you don't push me. If I want to fuck with your sister, I fuck with your sister. If I want to fuck with you, I fuck with you. I pushed his ass again into a tree, and I started choking his ass. And then the principal came over there, because she was watching the shit the whole time for whatever reason. Miss Bruton looking like goddamn, Who's that bitch from recess? I forgot her damn name. The lunch lady? That's what she looked. She looked just like the lunch lady wearing that ugly ass yellow flower dress on recess. She looked just like her. The only difference is she was skinny. She was watching the shit unfold the whole time, but the moment she seen me choking his ass, that's when she decided to break it up. Yeah, okay, bitch. I swear to God, man. DC schools are the worst. And he did get suspended for that shit. Not to mention, we had a substitute teacher at the school. She wasn't even a substitute. She was just there. She was just one of the school staff. Whatever she was, nobody knew what she was. But her name was Miss Randall. She was a straight up bitch. She was worse than Mr. Owens. And I ain't think it can get any worse than that. I'm not even gonna explain it. All I'm gonna say is she was just mean as shit, and her favorite line was, "That's why you're not going outside." I'm like, bitch, I ain't wanna go outside anyways. The cicadas outside. Not to mention it was 2004, which was the last time they came out. I was glad we weren't going outside. Because every time we went outside, you know, cicadas are harmless, but they do stick on to you and start, you know, sucking your blood like a mosquito. But it was always dead cicadas outside, and niggas would just grab cicadas and just put them in your shirt, just to troll you. And I was not in the mood for that. And instead of going outside, we had a food fight instead. Yeah, food fights used to be the best back in the day, I ain't gonna lie to you. And we all got in trouble for that shit. We all had detention. We just had to sit in class for an entire hour and be quiet. And we couldn't be quiet because she had a son, and he was mentally challenged, and we used to all laugh at him. Don't judge. Don't judge. Again, this is 2004. This is when, you know, everybody went balls to the wall when nobody gave a. Nowadays, people get so offended over little shit that they just make a whole scene out of it. But nobody got offended over this shit back in the day. We used to laugh at him because he used to do funny shit. And every time he laughed, she said, every time you laugh, that's another minute added to this detention. I'm like, bitch, fuck you. Main event, Jarrell. I'm not even gonna say his last name. He was the worst. Jarrell would not only pick on me, he would pick on everybody else as well. He was a class clown. He was always failing. He was always getting put out of class. And when he got put out, he'd be running up and down the halls. Him and his fool named Tamario. And you know a nigga named Tamario would never be failing. Never be passing his class. He's always getting put out. You know what I'm saying? Always disrupting the teacher, always mocking the teacher, and then be running up and down the halls. And then he gets suspended, and then he come back and get right back to doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So him and Tamario was the best of friends, but Tamario ain't never did shit to me. I was cool with him. But Jarrell, he was on a whole other level of retarded, and not mentally challenged either. He was just a straight up asshole. This fool would pick on me on a day-to-day basis. I guess they just seen me as a weak link. You know what I'm saying? That went from Daquan picking on me, which it wasn't that bad, because he knew what he was doing, and he kind of felt bad about picking on me. And then Taquan, he just didn't give a shit. But after I started choking him, he said, you know what? I ain't with you no more. And the reason I choked him is because I thought about my mommy used to say, if somebody put their hands on you, whoop they motherfucking ass. Everybody's mama said that shit. So I followed her advice, and I was about to whoop his motherfucking ass until the principal came over there and broke the shit up. But then Jarrell, he took it to a whole nother level. He would throw paper balls at me. He would spit spitballs at me. He would give me wet willies. He would come in the bathroom while I'm taking a piss and try to piss on me, and I would move out the way at the last second. He would start a food fight and start by throwing shit at me. He would take a whole lunch tray and bop me off the back of the head with that shit. Speaking of lunch, because this is exactly where it happened. He was the person that I fought for real. We're at lunch, and I said, oh, another thing, the classic, taking the chair and moving it out the way as somebody sitting down just to watch them bust their ass on the floor. He did that as well. And he's done that to me plenty of times until I seen the shit happening. I wasn't gonna fall for it again. I fell for it twice. But now it's lunchtime. I don't remember what day it was, but I just know it's lunchtime. I'm standing in the, I can't even talk. I'm standing in the lunch line, and he took shit way too far. He started pushing people out the line, cutting in line. At the time, we used to call it busting in front of people. But he started cutting in line. He pushed me out the line, and the girl that was standing in front of me, he pushed her ass out the line, took her spot as well. She said, what is you doing? And I'm like, right, what is you doing? I got up, pushed his ass out the way, and took my spot back, and she took her spot back. And me and that girl was actually cool. I don't remember her name, but we was actually cool. And he got up and pushed me out the line as well, and I had enough of it, because, you know, all that pent-up frustration that I had from him picking on me for months, I just balled up my fist and just punched the shit out of his face. At least I thought I did anyway. I didn't punch him that hard. I thought I did, but I didn't at the same time. So I punched him, and then he got it. He was like, okay, that's how you want to play it? And he punched me in the face, grabbed me, threw me into a wall, and I hit my head hard as shit. I hit my head so hard that I was damn near concussed. I was dazed for a second. Lucky for me, I got a hard ass head. You know what I'm saying? Pause. That didn't sound right. But there's no other way to say that shit. So again, I had a hard ass head. Pause. Thank you, damn Dash. I hit my head hard as shit, but I wasn't concussed. I didn't hit it too hard to the point where I was concussed. I was just dazed. I couldn't see shit. I couldn't hear shit. Only thing I could hear was this nigga saying bop, 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 punching me in the back. He was playing but being serious at the same time. He was punching me in the back over and over and over again, but I couldn't feel it. And then this tall, lanky, fat ass, he was lanky and fat at the same time, PE teacher, Mr. Hawkins. I'm surprised I even remember his goddamn name, bald bastard. I hated him. Every time you got on his bad side, he would take some weights and he would say, hold these joints for about 15 seconds. You have to stand there like this with the weight in your hand for not 15 seconds, 15 minutes. That made it worse. So he would have you just hold weights and shit for 15 minutes as a punishment. And to make matters even worse, you have to hold one weight in one hand, you know what I'm saying? Put your finger on your nose with the other hand and hold up one leg. You know how retarded that is? What kind of punishment is that? Just make me do 15 push-ups like my last PE teacher did. That's all he did. He heard you cussing in class, even if it was by accident, he was like, 15. He didn't have to tell you to do push-ups. He just said 15. You knew what that meant. But Mr. Hawkins, he was the worst PE teacher I ever had. Because it wasn't even PE. He was just teaching us health and all that shit. The only other thing that we did in this class was play dodgeball and kickball. That's it. And I was a kickball champ because I had the Michael Vick song, bro, that I got from my cousin. Yo, I used to kick the shit out of a ball. And because of that, I knew I was destined to be a punter or a kicker playing football. And once I hit high school, not even high school, once I hit middle school, I started playing football, for real. You know what I'm saying? But it was fag football, though. Yeah, I know what I said, fag football. It was flag football, but I call it fag football because only fags play that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you scared to get hit, you ain't nothing but a fag. And now I ain't talking about gay people. That don't mean you're gay. So after he finished beating my ass, and the PE teacher came over there and grabbed him by his shirt, he grabbed me by my shirt as well and dragged me to the motherfucking principal's office. I could barely even walk straight because I was still fucking dazed. So he took us to the principal's office and we sat there. The principal was talking to both of us and she said, who started it? And Jarrell went in line and said, I started it. I'm like, no, he started it. He was cutting in line, pushing everybody out the way. Yeah, I snitched. You know what I'm saying? I was snitch 9 on this day. Yeah, snitch 9. She let me off with a warning. She let him off with a warning, but she let me go first. 5 minutes later, she let him go. I'm in the lunchroom. I got my lunch, and conveniently, we had pizza. You know what I'm saying? Those box pizzas. The best pizzas for school lunch. I'm in the middle of eating, and this fool gonna come in the cafeteria. He grabbed 2 trays, and that's forbidden. You cannot grab 2 trays. You only get 1. But he was incognito about it and grabbed a second tray and decided after he got his lunch, he put his lunch down on the opposite bench that I was sitting and took that second tray and bopped me on the back of the head with it. I said, bruh, chill out. I ain't got time to be playing these games with you. He did it again. And when he hit me in the back of the head with the shit, he took it and, you know, let me show you how he did it. So he took it and he had it held this way. And he said, bow, in the back of my head like that. Bow. He didn't have it flat. He had it like this. He said, bow. He hit me in the back of the head with it. I said, I ain't got time to be playing this game, so you go ahead and chill out. Sit your ass down and eat your lunch. He did it again. I said, chill, bro. You don't want these problems. He took that tray, turned it flat, and hit a home run on my shit. He said, bow. And I got up, punched his ass in the stomach, and took him to the ground, and I just started punching away. I was whooping his ass. That I mentioned I didn't know how to fight. All I was doing was swinging. I did what I seen on movies and shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch a lot of hood movies as a kid. So whatever I seen on there, I did the same exact shit. So I was him up. And then here comes this fat ass goddamn PE teacher coming out of nowhere, grabbing both of us by the shirt, pinched me in the process, and stretching my shirt out at the same time, and dragged us both to the office, and we both got suspended. Ain't that something? He got suspended for like 5 days. I got suspended for 1. And that ain't the part that behooved me. What behooved me was this fool, during the middle of his suspension, this was like day 3 or day 4 or something like that, and his ass got hit by a car. He was out and about doing some shit that he wasn't supposed to be doing, and his ass got ran the over. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Part of me felt bad for him, but the other part of me felt like he deserved that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was laughing on the inside, but I wasn't trying to laugh on the outside because everybody would look at me like, oh, that's cold, bro. I know. I had a cold heart at the time. I didn't give a shit what happened to him. But I owned up to it. You know what I'm saying? I felt bad for him. When we first learned about it, the teacher took us to this room where they had a copy machine. And they had a phone in there. And she called Jarrell, and the whole class was telling him, get well soon, this, that, and the third. I went ahead and said something. I don't remember what I said. I just know I told him get well soon. And we'll all be happy that I can't even talk. We'll all be happy that we can see you again. You know what I'm saying? Good thing you survived, man. You know what I'm saying? I said some nice words. When he came back, I dapped him up, and somehow we became friends after that. How the f did we go from whooping each other's ass twice on the same day? You know what I'm saying? He whooped my ass first. We had a little break in the middle, and then I whooped his ass, and the next thing you know, we friends. That's crazy. I still can't believe he got hit by that car, though. Nobody's seen it, but I can just imagine how it happened. Him out there doing dumb shit, probably just showing his little Peter whacker or something, and all of a sudden somebody get distracted by that little shit and like, oh, and run his ass over, you know what I'm saying? I can just imagine that, and he'll ragdoll him like a GTA character. That's fucked up. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Is it too late to edit that out? Yeah, it is. I said worse. Don't judge me. I said worse. If you just now subbing to the channel, if you're new to the channel, just know I say a lot of fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? With no remorse. Sometimes I say I'm gonna edit that out, sometimes I don't. If I said worse than what I actually said, then I'm gonna leave it in. Pause. That was a double entendre right there. And that's where we're gonna end it, because that was nasty. If you missed episode 10 and episode 11, the links, both of them, will be in the comment section below and also in the end screen. You're actually gonna get the full playlist for The Life of Jay. Alright? With that being said, I'm out, man. Peace. Fuck Donald Trump. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm about to go ahead and just, I don't know, probably get on YouTube or something, because I ain't even close to being tired. So, toodles!
Bye, have a great time.